Okay, all right, you can begin.
Okay.
Okay, let's try again.
So again,
Yeah.
could you tell me the story about how you start a customer?
Okay, so Custom started out in 2014
Yeah.
when we came together for Imperial iGEM and took part in a science competition. We ended up doing rather well in the science competition at MIT, where we came second out of 245 teams. Then we were supposed to go back to our degrees and just continue on and finish our degree here at Imperial. But really what happened was that some people from the Imperial Entrepreneurship Network, namely Simplicity, reached out to us and suggested, why don't you take this idea a bit further? Try and see if you can develop it into a commercial venture. And that started a 1.5-year journey of first doing some smaller 3-day programs, and then joining the Imperial Create Lab, where we did the BCC, and we kind of learned how to talk to customers, which was a very weird thing. And we started thinking about how can we make this into a business rather than just a science project.
Nice. So, do you have any idea how to form an effective team as like a customer?
Okay. So, how to focus an effective team? The best way to focus okay, let me see. Right, okay. How to form an effective team? The best way to form an effective team is to try and complement the team members. So you find someone who has a focus on creative things, you find someone who has a focus on technical things but still can communicate them. And then you find someone who's very good at reaching out to people to try and balance these 3 qualities. One is basically a business development person, one is basically a technical person, so like a CTO, and then one fills in all the gaps. So ideally you try and build this team of 3. But really what's important for an early stage startup is to try and build an advisory board. Because the advisory board can give you experience, they can give you the right advice at the right time, and then it can also help you avoid the pitfalls that we most commonly slip into as a startup.
Okay, very good. So how do you handle the finance?
The finance.
Yeah.
So for financing, you kind of have to plan out when you need what kind of money as a startup.
Yeah.
So if you're a startup and you don't have any overheads, you might not have much requirements for money, and you will have your main resource as time.
Yeah.
That means you should try and spend your time to get money for the next rounds where you're building the venture. So what we do is you can focus on funding that's non-dilutive in the beginning, and then try and build a case that's worth investing in, so that you can approach angel investors and investors from VC capital. And right now we're kind of in the overlap, moving from grant funding towards a pre-seed round, where we're looking towards taking equity investment.
Okay. Do you have any tips for pitching with investor?
So for pitching investors, I would say focus on the customer. You may have good science, you may have a good idea, but if you have a customer or someone who's actually willing to pay for it right now, that is worth much more than theoretical business cases or theoretical science.
Nice. So the next question is, what do you think is the key factor to succeed in turning an academic idea or achievement into business?
I think the key requirement for turning an academic idea into business, where I think the key aspects to this is going out and talking to people. So you have an idea, you think there is some potential, but when you actually go out and iterate with people, so you hear what are the real problems the world is facing within this area, then you find out how your project might be able to fit with the problems that are being faced, so that you're actually developing something that is required. This is kind of informed design, or it's the lean launchpad method, where you go out and talk to people. And then the second thing is also being very ruthless about moving forward. So if you're just stuck not getting that email sent, or you're scared of reaching out to people, you will run out of money and the business will die. But if you're ruthless in moving forward, and you're ruthless in sending the emails and just doing whatever best you can at this time, then you will move forward. And if it means that your project will have to discontinue, it's still it's a better outcome than if you wait 5 years and it never turns out into anything.
Yeah, that's right. So I noticed that your team started from a science competition.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are organizing a competition called High Star. Do you have any idea?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the competition, for the winners, we offer money, investment, people, and mentoring.
Yeah.
How do you think participating in such a competition can benefit young entrepreneurs?
I think participating in science competition or
Yeah.
entrepreneurship competitions is really key to developing the early stage startups.
Okay.
Because firstly, the mentorship is what is going to avoid you from committing the common pitfalls and common mistakes. And then also the network and the connections is going to help you build a venture that's actually worth investing in. Otherwise, you may have a good idea and you'll just keep it as a baby pet idea. But if you don't get that mentorship and input from a program like an entrepreneurship program like High Star, then you will never really go out and make a real commercial product and a real commercial venture.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, well done. That's great.
Okay.